Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for Living Local, your lifestyle show for all things Charleston and beyond. I'm Ashley Meservey. Joining us today, we have Dr. Dan Bornstein. We're here at the Citadel. I'm super excited to talk about a new program you have going on. But before we get into that, let's just talk about you and your background.
Sure. So I kind of have a non-traditional background as an academic. My first career was really in the commercial fitness industry. So in Tucson, Arizona, I owned and ran a performance enhancement center where we had strength and conditioning coaches and behavioral therapists and dietitians and so on, working with our clients to help them make lasting lifestyle change. After I sold my company, I decided to go back to school. So I did get a PhD at the University of South Carolina in exercise science. Go Cox.
Yep.
But I really got interested more in population levels of physical activity and its impact on health.
Okay.
And as I was there studying, I was also realizing, looking at some literature, that physical inactivity and low fitness not only are problematic for public health, but they're really creating some serious problems for national security. And so the Citadel was obviously a natural fit for me to come and continue doing that kind of research and now implement some programs to try to solve the problems that we now know exist.
Well, let's talk about that program because you can't find it anywhere else, right? And what's it called?
So the center that we created is called the Center for Performance, Readiness, Resiliency, and Recovery, or called CPR3.
Okay.
And we are the first college university in the country to actually offer degree programs and certificate programs in something called tactical performance and resiliency. So tactical athletes are a little bit different from sport athletes. We know sport athletes, right? They're football players and soccer players like you. And then tactical athletes also have very unique physiological and psychological demands on their bodies, but now we're talking about law enforcement, we're talking about firefighters, and we're talking about military service members and even veterans. So those are the individuals that we think of as tactical athletes. And the programs that we've designed are for the purposes of training professional tactical strength and conditioning coaches who can work with these tactical athletes to optimize their performance, not only on the job, but also off the job, because they're also going to be parents and brothers and sisters and so on.
So what areas are you tackling? I mean, mental, physical, things like that, right?
So yes. So primarily our academic programs are on the physical side of things.
Okay.
How do we physically prepare somebody for what the military might call overmatch? So to ensure that this war fighter is going to beat their opponent.
So like at the worst possible scenario, that they'll be ready.
Worst possible scenario, hand-to-hand combat,
Okay,
they're going to win.
Okay.
But there's also a really heavy psychological toll, right? We see that in rising rates of post-traumatic stress disorder, in the fact that 22 veterans will kill themselves today, and 22 did yesterday, and 22 tomorrow. So we wanted to make sure that the individuals that we were training to go out into the field as tactical strength and conditioning coaches also understood the mental, psychological, cognitive demands of tactical athletes, so that as they maybe work within a multidisciplinary team, so they might be working alongside a physical therapist and a behavioral cognitive therapist, that they can speak that language and they have their finger on the pulse of those tactical athletes, and they can know, hey Bob, you know, are you really feeling okay? I've been noticing that maybe you don't seem quite right. I think you should go talk to so-and-so. But primarily we're looking at the physical, but we have baked into the program the psychological, behavioral, cognitive elements of what it means to have military personnel and first responders perform optimally.
And I'm sure you've had people from all across the country and reach out to you and things like that because this is really a significant need, right?
This is a significant need, and one of the things we wanted to do is to be able to have broad reach. So we're based in Charleston, but 2 of the 3 of our academic programs are online. We did that because we knew that there might be active duty service members, there might be law enforcement officers, firefighters, or just people around the world who want to be able to have this expertise, but can't pick up as much as they might love to pick up and move to Charleston. They can't do it. So we wanted to provide the opportunity for them to get those skills and knowledge and abilities so that they can potentially forge a career in this field that is exploding. The field is called tactical strength and conditioning. We call it something a little bit different, tactical performance and resiliency, because strength and conditioning is limited to the physical, but we know that it's more than that.
Yeah, resiliency, I like that.
That's it.
I like that.
That's right.
Okay, so I have to know this though, like the vision that you have for where this is gonna go. I mean, there's so many ways this could impact not just people in those areas, but common folk like me, right?
So, right, so I think I mentioned that when I was studying at the University of South Carolina, we were really interested in physical activity and its impact on public health. So we're not called the stroke belt for nothing, right? We have the highest rates of diabetes and heart disease and obesity and physical inactivity, and it negatively affects us in so many different ways on the public health side of things, in even education. But it's also really affecting our national security. It's affecting our ability to recruit people into the military. So currently 70% of young Americans cannot qualify for military service. That's a problem. We have a serious recruiting problem. After that, even among those who do qualify for service, the rates of injuries that we've seen in basic combat training have skyrocketed over the last couple of decades. And if you move, again, so we got a problem with injuries in the military. It's costing DOD lots of money. We did some research with the Army in 2018 that showed that southern states were producing recruits who were significantly less physically fit and more likely to become injured. And then, of course, we move into the veteran status, where we continue to see the challenges associated with these musculoskeletal injuries and mental health.
And they deserve the best, obviously.
They deserve the best. So, you know, the Citadel is a problem-solving organization. That's what we do. And so we decided to create this center so that we could be the hub of not just academic programs, but how can we reach out to the community? How can we work with Charleston Police Department and Fire Department and the National Guard and Joint Base Charleston, which all of which we're now beginning to do, even in the face of maybe a global pandemic. What things can we do to just build capacity here to improve the safety and security of our people, of our residents, by improving the safety and health and strength of those who are serving us all.
Yeah, before we came on, you said protecting the people who protect people, right?
Yeah, so all right, so protect and serve those who protect and serve.
There, I almost got it. All right, so before we head out, anything else we need to know?
Just that if you're interested potentially in a career in doing this, you say, you know what, I'm not sure I want to join the military or actually be a cadet at the Citadel, but you know, this whole tactical strength and conditioning, that sounds really interesting. Well, go ahead and reach out to us and learn a little bit more about our programs, the academic programs. Maybe it's something you'd like to do. If you're somebody who works in mental health and you think you want to work with us on some research, give us a call, give me a call, and we'll talk about it.
Give them a call. All righty. Well, thank you again for having us today.
Thanks for coming.
And for more information, you can always head online to citadel.edu.